You gonna sign anyone yet?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow for sure. Day 2, day 3, day 4. 3 weeks later, many months later. One eternity later.
You can blame Thane SEFC for me doing this video, because I've watched his video over on his channel that he did not long ago at the time of recording this, and I completely agree with him. Absolutely spot on. Completely agree with him in a lot of aspects. It's near the end of June, and we still haven't seen any movement yet. And I know people are. I think I've seen a couple of people. Certainly in the. I think there was at least. I think it might have been Phil Smith from the Sunderland Echo, and I'm not trying to have a dig at him here before anyone says anything, but it is probably going to sound like a dig. I think it might have been him or someone in the press that said that not a lot of clubs have done business in League One. Portsmouth, Wigan, Ipswich, Charlton. If you look at all the clubs that are expected to be up there with us, Bolton. Don't be shocked to see Bolton and Wigan do a lot better. Bolton have signed a few players as well. Donny have signed a few players. There'll be a host of other ones. Wickham have I think Wickham have announced Josh Scowen's gone to them. Obviously Max Power's gone to Wigan. They sound the same name, Wickham. It's quite funny. And obviously Wickham could still be in the Championship. But the point is, other clubs have done business. Wigan, I'm sure, have got at least half a dozen signings in. At least half a dozen signings. And they're showing something called ambition to try and make sure they give themselves the best chance to go up. Tell you right now, Wickham will be in the... Wigan will at least be competing for the top 6. I could be wrong. This might fall flat on my face in however many months' time. But I think at the moment, I think Wigan... I'm doing it again. Wigan's business... maybe we should just hope that Wickham stay up in the Championship so I don't have to keep confusing them. Their business looks pretty decent. Ipswich have got a few signs. They're being proactive. Meanwhile, Sunderland, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And don't get me wrong. In my head, the reason I'm hoping that we aren't making these signings is purely because we're looking at every single data, every bit of data around players as possible, because we are supposed to be going down this new data-based approach in terms of trying to sign players. But for me, though, if we're going to do that, that should have begun, and maybe it might have done. Obviously, I know people are going to say we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it doesn't mean we can't get frustrated. If we have really, this should have if that is what we're doing, that should have happened the second the Lincoln game finished. Oh, by the way, bearing in mind that was about 4.5 weeks ago, maybe even 5.5 weeks. In fact, no, that's even worse. 5 and a bit weeks ago at this point. That should have been sorted then and there. We should have got the targets identified, what we wanted, and gone out and went and got them. Being brutal here. By now, I would have liked to have seen 3 or 4 players through the door. I'm bearing in mind, at the time of recording again, we're a couple of days away from our first pre-season friendly away at Spennymoor, and we haven't signed anyone yet. And when I say sign someone, I don't mean for the under-23s, I mean for the first team. Thane's absolutely right. I think a lot of the time, we do need to watch what we're spending, don't get me wrong, I do understand, and I do get completely, we have to watch what we are doing. But all I've really heard is that, from Sunderland, is that we're pushing for Sanderson, who I still don't think will sign, unfortunately. I think he'll go to a Championship club. But that aside, I haven't heard anything. And even the things that we have been hearing, it's a load of tosh. It's a load of nonsense. There's nothing to it. So, don't get us wrong. Look, I don't want to sign anyone for the sake of it, like Thanes himself said, but come on, guys. I expected a little bit more at this point. Quite a bit more, actually. And while we're at it, on the contracts with Wyke, McGeady, O'Nien and Hume, with those guys... Come on, make a decision. It's ridiculous because these contracts, we got offered these deals over a month ago. Now, I do get that for their own careers, they have to consider offers from elsewhere, but I'm sorry, it shouldn't take you 4 weeks to make a decision on what you want to be doing. There's been reports that McGeady O'Nien look like they're going to stay, which if that's the case, I'll be happy with. Hume, bizarrely, haven't heard anything about. Wyke accepted that he's gone anyway. We accepted that for weeks. But either way, I'm so fed up of constantly having to wait repeatedly for any sort of business to be conducted. I'm really getting frustrated at the fact that we don't seem to be showing the ambition or don't seem to be interested. Now, I do stress, I'm using the word seeing here deliberately because we could be doing stuff behind the scenes. We don't know that. We don't know that we're not doing anything. But when you bear in mind that we're going to be close to July soon enough, and we haven't signed anyone yet. I think people have a right to be a bit concerned. I don't know. I just needed to vent my frustrations a little bit. So I know this video is terrible. I know it's a very much incoherent, blabbering mess. But there you have it. I'll love you and leave you there. Who knows? Maybe, hopefully, Sunderland make me look like an idiot and that they've actually got some signings through the door. And I'm talking first team signings, not just under 23 ones. See you all later. And we'll see if we get a signing in the near future, I guess. Like, comment, and subscribe, please, by the way. It'd be much appreciated.
Eventually,